this isn't a heartwarming family movie about a little league baseball team called the Thunderbolts that defies the odds and wins it all. This is Marvel's second attempt at movie success in 2025 after Captain America Brave New World, Captain crunched at the box office and flopped. The bar for Marvel movies at this point is, let's be honest, subterranean. Will Thunderbolts clear that bar? Let's find out on this episode of Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live, a Marvel Thunderbolts edition of Movies Merica Live. And as always, I am your humble host, Van Ebert, here to take you through this spoiler-free review / discussion about the 3,745th Marvel movie here. So we've got some work to do, that is for sure. But welcome, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics here. Apologies for the mess back here and the fact that things don't quite look like they typically do here on Movies America here. I'm getting ready for a big move, and so I've got all kinds of boxes getting all packed up and about to be sealed up and ready for some moving action, okay? But we're not going to let that stop us here, because we're all about working through things and that kind of thing, I mean, this party's got to keep rolling. Got to keep rolling, even through big life events like moves and all that stuff right there, okay? So enough about that, but let me tell you guys all about the fact that you guys can get in the live chat right now and live chat with me about Thunderbolts, and you can do that in Rumble or YouTube. That way I'm not just over here talking to myself because, well, quite frankly, it's a little psycho. All right, if I'm talking to myself, you talk to yourself long enough, you start hearing voices talking back to you right there. Exactly. And it's scary, and it just gets to the point like, no, I will not pick up that knife. No, I won't. It's like, it gets to that point. So let's help me avoid that moment. Help me avoid that happening and talk to me so I don't go completely raving psycho. Talk to me in the live chat there if you would. All right. So let's do this here. Let's get into some Thunderbolts, shall we? Because that's why you're here, right? And this movie is directed by Jake Schreier. And I know if you're over here and you're going, who? You are not alone, okay? I'm a movie maniac. I'm a fellow freedom-fueled film fanatic. And I didn't know who Jake Schreier was, okay? So Marvel, woo, they sure don't get the directors they used to get. I mean, they used to get, John Favreau and Kenneth Branagh, all these guys. Used to get the Russo brothers, but not so much anymore. They just get all these no names, or they go up and they get some independent movie director who's, last movie, cost $10 to make, but they just, they won, an award at Cannes or the Sundance Film Festival or something like that. And they're like, hey, obscure lady whose last movie cost $10, come over here and direct us a $100 million action thriller for us right here. I know that your movies are typically about, black quadriplegic lesbians who love to eat ice cream in France. And that's you've been like your last 4 movies, and they've all cost $10 to make. But hey, come on over here and direct this $100 million summer blockbuster Marvel movie for us right there. So that's what they end up doing that. And then they're surprised, like, what? This Marvel movie? What? It's a dumpster fire? What? So it's yeah, I don't know. It's one of these days they're gonna have a oh, that's why. That's what you gotta do, moment. One of these days. And that's surprising because Marvel knew this from 2008 to 2019. And I don't know if what happened. I don't know if they met up with the dudes from Men in Black and they got flashy thinged or something like that and completely just, forgot how to make, good movies and that kind of thing. But I don't know. But another thing I'll say about what's this movie we're talking about now? Oh, Thunderbolts. There you go. That's how kind of forgettable it is. But Thunderbolts is, one of the things about it is it's another attempt at simulating the whole Winter Soldier vibe. It's trying to be grounded, and it's, it has, congressional hearings and congressmen and senators and, government investigations and the military getting involved, working hand in hand with, criminal masterminds and that kind of thing. So it's just kind of trying to be grounded in like a 70s espionage thriller, like The Winter Soldier did so well back in 2011, 2012, which seems so long ago, but it did the 70s espionage thriller so well back then. But it's been done to death because we just saw Captain African American try the exact same thing, and like I said, it Captain crunched at the box office. So it's not a blueprint you can do over and over and over and over again. Okay, so and another thing about Thunderbolts is they've got Julia Louis-Dreyfus in this, and she's just a boring villain in this. She plays some mastermind who's, I guess, rich, and she's tied to the government, and she portrays herself, in the public, as this charitable, wealthy person that's just trying to save the world and try to be there, kind of like a Bill Gates kind of character, somebody like that there, where they put out this friendly outward face to the public, but you just know, behind closed doors, they're just this evil, nefarious, maniacal Bond villain, right? So, but with her character, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character in this, her character begs the question, like, why does anyone listen to her? Like, who is she? She's like this little waspy chick who walks around in business suits, and like one slap across the face, you can take her out. Not that I'm rationalizing hitting women or anything like that, but she's hardly this imposing figure or anything like that. She's not Thanos or anything like that, right? And so I just don't get like why they put her out there as a criminal or as a villain, and how we're supposed to like think that she's so formidable. You're like, oh my God, look out, Thunderbolts! Here comes Waspy chick in her business suit, woohoo! And then Thunderbolts also, I noticed at the end, like right kind of towards the end of the third act, it just kind of tries to go for this Inception or like Nightmare on Elm Street vibe towards the end when they're trying to deal with Bob, played by Bill Pullman's kid, Lewis Pullman. So Bill Pullman, you might know him best as the president in Independence Day. Okay, so but he has a son. He has a little nepo baby that's trying to be an actor too. And his name is Lewis Pullman, and he plays a character of Bob in the Thunderbolts right there. So that is what's going on right there as I almost knock shit over here in the Movies Merica Studios going on right there. All right, so let's check things out here. Make sure we got everything on the up and up there. And we're going to get into, some more Thunderbolts here as we get further into here. And let me do this here. This one will kind of, there we go. I think that'll work. There we go. Let's get that out of there. Get that going on there. And let's do this, see if that works. All right, come on. There we go. Rumble Studio, work with me, Rumble Studio. Work with me, Big Daddy. There we go. It's let's do this. There we go. Okay, so this is not. Come on. So it's basically it's one of those things where Rumble Studio, sometimes the buttons want to work and sometimes they don't. And anyway, all right, we're moving on. If I dwell on this way too long, I'm going to go off into another, like, I can't stand Rumble Studio rant. Not going to do that right there. But out of the two Marvel movies released this year, this is the better of the two right here. Now, it's not saying much, but the Thunderbolts, it's entertaining enough, but quite honestly, it's not entertaining enough for me to recommend you going out there and spending your hard-earned money at the theater, all right? Also, on top of that, you might run into some people with some Minecraft movie type behavior out there. So I don't want you to have to deal with that, combined with having to spend a premium dollar to go see Thunderbolts here, because it's not entertaining enough for that. Now, I do get that there's a demographic out there that so desperately wants there to finally be a great Marvel movie that's tied to the main MCU plotline. And I had that last part in there because some might say, hey, then what about Deadpool and Wolverine? Well, it's not really tied to the main MCU plotline. I mean, they do make mention of Thor and all these other these MCU characters in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's not really part of the whole MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe plotline right there. And you know what? I do too. I do want a great Marvel movie to come out here. Okay, I don't want these to suck. I hate having to do reviews like this where I can't brag on Marvel movies. Like I wish I did these movies, Merica shows, like back in the heights of Marvel's powers. Okay, at their Mount Rushmore, at the tippy top, when they're like right up at the top of El Capitan, from 2008 and 2019. And I could have done a Movies America episode about Winter Soldier, or Captain America: Civil War, or Infinity War, or something like that. But I wasn't doing this back then. Unfortunately, now I'm doing it here in this phase of Marvel there. And I want the Marvel quality back that we had from 2008 through 2019. I mean, that was great having Marvel movies as a sure bet for being thoroughly entertained. I mean, you could depend on it. It was like a cinematic security blanket. It just kept it all nice and warm and safe and cozy. Like, oh, I feel so safe. Feel so safe with Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and Hulk. Oh, I feel so warm and cozy with my security blanket. Not so much anymore. Nope, it's more like kind of a bed of nails here. So that's what's going on now. But unfortunately, sometimes success, like they saw from 2008 to 2019, it leads to apathy from a loss of ambition and drive, and that place that produced great living embodiments of beloved comic book characters and compelling scripts. I mean, they ended up being destroyed like Sokovia. I mean, that doesn't just apply to Marvel movies, right? That involves life, right? You reach this pinnacle of success, and then you might start going, well, I can't do much better than that. Time to get apathetic. Time to just kind of phone it in from now on, right? So, and I think that's what happened here. But Thunderbolts is helped by the fact that there have been other Marvel movies so much worse than that. And we can name them all, right? Eternals, Black Widow, The Marvels, okay? A bunch of other ones right there. So, and the fact that it's not as vomit-inducing as those movies, I mean, it is a breath of fresh air in a sad kind of, what have we allowed ourselves to get used to kind of way. Even Kevin Feige reportedly told Marvel colleagues that watching every new MCU project had begun to feel more like homework than entertainment, according to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, and I would think that Wall Street Journal, this is a reputable publication. This is a story that you could pretty much believe right there, because Wall Street Journal, they're the kind of publication where they're going to try to get a source and then another source before, they print something like this. And then also Wall Street Journal, they also report that Marvel employees talk regularly about Marvel fatigue and worry. They've created a new like a no new fans club. I guess they're referring to like where new viewers to their movies have no clue what's going on whatsoever. There's like, huh? What am I just watching here? Who's that person in the red suit? And then there's somebody in a black suit with some yellow. Who are these people? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna go. Forget this. I'm just gonna go watch Golden Girls reruns instead. And it's much more simpler to understand. All right. So, now to tell the whole story about this movie, Thunderbolts has a 94% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll notice I don't mention the critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care about the critics ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. I care about the audience ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, and then also the movie is decently reviewed on Letterboxd and critic lists, and it has a decent score on Metacritic. Okay, so my thoughts on the movie, it has to be said, are in the minority. Okay, now it's not like I'm totally crapping on this movie. Again, I find it entertaining enough, but not entertaining enough to go plunk down $18 a person at the theater, to go watch this movie. Ain't no way I'm going to recommend you do that, all right? I got a reputation to uphold, right? I don't want people coming down in the comments section later on going, Van, you are now on my new crap list over here, all right? So I was going to send you a premium fruitcake for Christmas this year, but no more, all right? No fruitcake for you, okay? So I don't want to get that reaction, okay? So I am not going to recommend going to see Thunderbolts at the theater, all right? So just, if you just wait. It's probably going to come. It's going to be on Disney Plus in about 15 minutes. So just wait for it to come on Disney Plus here shortly and go and see it there. So there you go. I mean, just thinking about spending that much money, $18 a person or whatever it is around your area to see Thunderbolts at the theater, that's like a thunderbolt to my nether region. Yeah, no, thank you right there. Not doing that, not dealing with that whatsoever. All right, so let's check things out real quick here and see what's going on. And yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's like we got Lindy Rig 87 joining the show. Appreciate you hopping on here. And he says, I knew Elaine was a villain there. And actually, I would show your chat there, Lindy Rig, here, but it doesn't show on Rumble Studio right there. So another premium performance from Rumble Studio right there. So absolutely. But thanks, Lindy Rig 87, for gracing us with your presence right there. And it definitely, I'm digging that there. Real quick here, and if you would, go ahead and hit that like button down there, all right? So go ahead and just click on that. You might notice that there's like something giving you the side eye. You're like, what is it? Is that the like button giving me the side eye? And it probably is, because that's how the like button rolls. Okay, it likes to give people the side eye because if it wants you to click on it. Okay, and so in order to make that side eye go away, well, it's very easy. It's a very easy cure for that. No, it's not more cowbell. It's clicking on the like button down there, right? And then also, while you're down there clicking on buttons, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe or follow button down there, all right? And then also hit that notification bell down there, because like it implies, it's going to notify you when there is a brand new, piping hot, fresh episode of Movies Merica for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so you might get an email, saying, hey, here's a brand new episode right there. And then you will be one of the first to check that out right there, okay? And then also to my friends that are watching this episode later on, you're not watching it live. Well, hey, fear not. Okay, you will be able to communicate with me and I with you, but you're going to have to do it via the comments section, all right? Which is totally cool, all right? And you can get down there in the comments section and let me know, hey, what do you think of the show? Do you think it sucks? Do you think it's the greatest thing? All right. Do you think like, oh my God, Van, you are the reason YouTube and Rumble were invented to display your awesome talent? Oh my God. Well, definitely put those comments down there. All right. There you go. I want to definitely see those because who couldn't use an ego boost every once in a while, right? But, if it's the, hey, Van, you got a lot to learn, pal. All right. You might want to do something else, okay, with your time. Hey, put those in the comments too. I am not a shrinking violet. I'm not fragile and delicate. I can take it. There, I can take some constructive criticism. It's all good down there in the comments. Absolutely there. All right. So let's get into some more Thunderbolts, but not until I take another drinky off here, and that's to remind you, I'm going to do brew review time here a little later on, where I'm going to review this very brew I'm holding in my manos right here. Okay, or my hands. And also, it's a reminder for me to remind you, hey, go ahead and toss back whatever you're drinking right now. It is technically still the weekend, okay? And it's time to relax. I'm relaxing here with a little cerveza during the show right there because relaxing with some booze in any form that fits your fancy is not only permitted on the show, it's highly encouraged during all Movies Merica episodes. Okay, but with that, here we go. Excellent. All right. More Thunderbolts on the docket right here. And again, don't worry if you're watching this right here. Don't worry. I'm not going to spoil the movie or anything like that. This is the spoiler-free episode, all right? So worry not, all right? You don't have to put on your Depends and worry about crap in your pants when I drop some spoiler. That will not happen in this episode right here, okay? But with that, at the beginning of Thunderbolts, Florence Pugh's Yelena character is pretty much like the living embodiment of REM's Everybody Hurts, okay? I mean, she's still sad about her sister, Natasha Romanoff, a.k.a. Black Widow, dying, and she hasn't talked to her dad, Red Guardian, in over a year. And there's no sign of her mom in this movie whatsoever. It's like, Rachel Weisz, where'd you go, right? So if I had to guess, she probably also hasn't been laid in a long time, which is amazing given how we all know Florence Pugh looks, right? So yeah, there might be something deeper to that. So, but who knows? But to sum up, it sounds like this movie should be sponsored by Prozac, right? But it gets better. Okay, pardon me. There is eventually some action, though, to break us out of Yelena's depressing darkness, okay? Although the action is dull, as it is through most of the movie. Now, I say it's dull because we've seen all this action before. I mean, if Thunderbolts was like the first MCU movie, I guarantee you, we think this action was badass, all right? But it's far from the first movie, okay? Remember that, Iron Man in 2008, that was like the first movie in what we know now as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we thought the action in Iron Man was kick-ass, right? So, and it would be the same as if Thunderbolts was the very first MCU movie, but it's not. It's the 3,745th movie. So with this action we're seeing in here, it's dull. It's been done to death right there. And, and we're introduced to one of Marvel's most sleep-inducing character, and that's Elaine Bennis as Valentina DiGiorno Pizza Asti Spumante, or whatever her name is, all right, who's supposed to be some evil mastermind, as I was talking about before. And Yelena works for her, as does the rest of the Thunderbolts, as it turns out. Now, speaking of the other Thunderbolts, we have Ghost, who does this disappearing thing, all right, and fulfills the requirement to have at least one British character in each Marvel movie. And then there's also Taskmaster, or Task Manager, as Nerdrotic calls her. But Taskmaster is in this, but a word of warning, this is about the closest to a spoiler you're going to get. Don't get too attached to her, okay? There we go. And then also John Walker, this I guess form of Captain America. He drops in, and unless you've read the comics or have seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you don't know who the hell this guy is or what his backstory is. Like I said, he's, I guess, some version of Captain America who did something bad and is, I don't know, disgraced for something. Then we get Bob, played by, again, Bill Pullman's kid. Okay, so, Bill Pullman, Lone Star from Spaceballs and, the president from Independence Day. Okay, so we get Bob, played by Lewis Pullman, playing yet another character named Bob, after Lewis Pullman's character was named Bob in Top Gun Maverick. Okay, so he just loves playing characters named Bob, I guess. So who knows right there. But maybe we're going to have a movie about the origins of Bob Evans restaurants, and guess who's going to be starring in that one? There you go. And then later, Red Guardian, Yelena's dad, shows up to, bellow some funny lines. And then finally, Bucky, formerly known as the Winter Soldier, the character that's been around in the MCU the longest out of all these characters, and is most definitely the oldest, rounds out the Thunderbolts. Okay. Now, Bucky is now just a useless member of Congress. But, I mean, as I think we would all say, that just helps him fit right into Congress. He just blends in with everybody, right? But, but in the end, though, he's the one congressman who actually does want to do something. So even in the MCU, Congress is about as useful as Baby Groot's. So, I mean, MCU is mimicking real life right there. So that is how we roll in the MCU universe there with Bucky, formerly known as the Winter Soldier right there. And, it is kind of weird. It's kind of surreal remembering back just like how formidable the Winter Soldier was back in, during Captain America, the Winter Soldier, because they were like, I remember like Natasha Romanoff, or Black Widow, was talking about, she was on some mission and she was trying to get some object, or some protectee to safety, and then this character, this evil villain that she called the Winter Soldier, she said was known as the Winter Soldier, took out who she was trying to protect, and so they built up like the Winter Soldier to be this very formidable, very evil, very capable, I mean, unstoppable villainous force. And then, of course, with throughout the movie, the Winter Soldier, he was portrayed that way. You're like, man, this guy's unstoppable. He's kicking ass and taking names. And I don't know if Captain America is going to get out of this one. I mean, we got this Winter Soldier guy. He's a badass, And then so he goes. The Winter Soldier goes from that to what Bucky is now, where he's just like this kind of unassuming, freshman congressman, and he's third or fourth. He gets like third or fourth billing in this movie Thunderbolts, that is definitely a part of the weakest phase of the MCU here. So he just goes from this evil, unstoppable character in the Winter Soldier to what he is right now. It's kind of surreal there. But anyway, let's drink to that observation here. You know why? Because it's brew review time. All right. Well, maybe not. So all the buttons are unresponsive on Rumble Studio right now. Apparently my voice is unresponsive. Like I'm literally clicking on buttons and it is actually doing nothing. I'm clicking on play. I'm clicking that crap out of my mouse on play, and it is not doing anything. All right. Anyway, hey, let's drink some beer. Why don't we? Yeah, there we go. And let me introduce you to Cerveza Palma. Okay. And interestingly enough, it is brewed in Nicaragua. Say that word very carefully. It's brewed in Nicaragua. Okay. But it's marketed as Cuba's favorite beer. Okay. All right. So, but it is it's like a light drinking beer here. It is just like a Pilsner. It's not like a barley wine or a stout or anything like that. So, but it's a good lighter beer. I think it's like 4.9% alcohol by volume here. And it's good, like, you're sitting there on the bass boat, you're just, casting out your line, and baiting a hook and sitting out there in the sun, probably not wearing sunscreen like you should and all that stuff, But hey, you're cooling down with some Cerveza Palma, and I would recommend it for that purpose. I'm going to give this beer my endorsement, okay? And I'm not getting any money from this brewery or anything else here. Okay, this is a totally objective review. Now, is it the greatest Pilsner I've ever had? No, not at all, but it does a trick right here. And so if you're looking for a Pilsner that is, very, very obscure, okay, this is not, like tranny fluid Bud Light. That's also a Pilsner there. This is something more obscure, something more exotic and much tastier than that piss water there. So if you want to change it up a little bit and get something a little bit more exotic, I'd go with some Cerveza Palma right there. Now, this is going to sound gross, but it does kind of have like this subtle grass flavor to it. So, no, not the Cheech and Chong kind of grass, just like grass, like, you mow, right? And now, again, I realize that sounds gross, if you're not a big beer fan, but it actually does like add a tasty flavor to it when it's also combined with this light citrus flavor to it as well. But enough talking about this bad boy here. I'm going to go ahead and get a tug off this thing. Excellent. All right. So that has been Brew Review Time. All right. Yep, I'm not even going to bother hitting that play button on the Brew Review Time. Not at all, because it is not going well. We'll see if this works, though. Let's see if this works over here. And I'm telling you, like, giving you some descriptions and insight into how the sausage is made going on up in here. There we go. All right. And let's do this here real quick. So I want to tell you about some merch that we have, some Movies America merch. And yep, that's not going to work either. Yep, there we go. Okay, so so we do have merch. Okay, so we have Movies America merch, and we're making it very easy for you to get Movies America merch. And the way you do that is down in the description. There's a merch link down there. You just got to click on that, and you can get yourself some cool stuff like a Movies America t-shirt, Movies America hats, and phone cases, and flask, and shot glasses. Pardon me. There, sorry about the beer burp. And all kind of like, we've got like Movies America yoga pants down there. We got a whole bevy of stuff down there with Movies America emblazoned across it right there, okay, for you to hey, you can give it as a gift, all right? We got Mother's Day is a week from today, so take this as a heads up, as my public duty, as a little public service announcement from yours truly, that I got Mother's Day coming up here in a week, so order yourself some Movies America merch for dear old mommy. Okay, there you go, because nothing says I love you, mommy, like some Movies America merch. Like if your mom happens to be an alcoholic, hey, get her a Movies America shot glass or pint glass or something like that, or a flask or something like that. So, but we've got so much more than those items with Movies America all over it. But the only way you can know what those items are is clicking on that merch link down in the description right there. All right, so there we go. So back to Thunderbolts, everybody. And as always, I always have some random thoughts about whatever movie I'm spoiler-free reviewing on the Sunday show here. And my first random thought is, my first random thought is, if you do want to see a superhero movie about a group of misfits that have to team up to save the world, to be quite honest, watch James Gunn's The Suicide Squad instead of this. If you watch both, though, make sure to watch Thunderbolts first, because watching The Suicide Squad will make Thunderbolts look so much lamer, okay? And The Suicide Squad, I mean, it just has that hard edge and brilliant humor to it. It's very irreverent, okay? And together with that and the hard edge and the brilliant humor, that James Gunn brings. It just entertains the hell out of you, okay? And again, that's the Suicide Squad I'm talking about. Now, I'm talking about the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is the much lesser of the Suicide Squad movies, okay? That's the one that was directed by David Ayer. I'm talking about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad that, unfortunately, it had the misfortune of being released during the heights of the Chinese scam-demic there. And so that was when everyone was like, oh my God, I don't want to go out to the movies. I don't want to go out to the theater. I'm going to touch the wrong movie theater seat, get the COVID, and die. You know, everyone was like, I don't want to go outside. And so, of course, no one went and saw the Suicide Squad in the theaters, and it made about $5 at the box office there. So all that to say, there will probably not be the Suicide Squad 2 coming to you anytime soon whatsoever there. Okay, so, and the character development in the Suicide Squad is fantastic too. So it's got, it's got, oh God, I'm like, all the characters are escaping me right now because I got so much like Rumble Studio on my mind. So I'm not even going to bother to name off the characters there. And then also another random thought about Thunderbolts is there is a very long mid-credits scene. Matter of fact, I thought I'd heard that the mid-credits scene in the credits for the Thunderbolts is actually the longest mid-credits scene ever in a Marvel movie here. And it does have a reveal that involves an upcoming movie. I will say that. And it's got some humor in it that's even cringier than a lot of the Marvel humor that's peppered already out throughout this movie here. And this is the first mid-credits scene. I have to say, this is the first mid-credits scene that might actually lower your opinion of the movie, okay? So you might just want to not watch the mid-credits scene. When the end credits start rolling, probably just want to scurry out of the theater there, to be quite honest with you. Okay, so just don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't warn you there. All right, so okay, so let's I'm going to tell you about a great sponsor that we have for this episode right there. They're swell enough, they're cool enough to sponsor us here today, and that sponsor is One Flip City Magazine. And Flip City Magazine, what it is it's a funny magazine. I mean, I can't put it any simpler than that. It's a funny magazine that's going to crack you up, okay? And it's along the lines, but better than, say, Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine back in the day, right? Remember those magazines? Well, those magazines, unfortunately, they allowed themselves to get assimilated into the woke Borg, okay? That's taken over so many things. And so Mad Magazine and Cracked, they just got caught up in all that. But not Flip City Magazine, all right? Flip City Magazine just wants to crack you up, okay? And sometimes excessively, okay? So that's why I have to warn you, might want to read it like while you're on the toilet there, because you might laugh yourself so hard, you might have a little pee come out of you. That's all I'm just going to say. Again, I know it's crude, it's crass, but I can't sugarcoat it. That might happen. Okay, maybe not, but or just go around and just wear Depends undergarments all the time, and you won't have anything to worry about. There you go. I mean, I'm wearing mine right now, and boy, are they comfortable. They're so comfortable. There you go. It's so cozy. All right, so I can read Flip City Magazine without any worry, all right? There you go. Now, right about now, if any the other good people at the Flip City Corporation are watching this right now, they're like, oh, my God, we are not sponsoring this show anymore. This guy's doing serious damage to our reputation right now. So with that, I'm going to see if I can get their take on this and have them tell you all about it. Now, that's if Rumble Studio will actually respond when I click this little button here. So I'm going to click the button right here. Nope, it's not going to play. It's going to be like every other button in Rumble Studio. It is not going to respond. I sure as hell hope I can actually end the stream today, because that's another button, and the buttons aren't working. So I have no idea. So, but anyway, and this is probably not going to work either. So let's see here. I'm just going to do this, and you're probably not. Yep, that's not going to work either. All right. So the Flip City, we're making that just as easy for you to get yourself a subscription to Flip City as we did for you to get yourself some Movies America merch, because we have a Flip City link in the description down below. I'll say it's in the description, so Flip City link in the description. Click on that, and then when you buy your subscription, make sure to put the promo code MOVIES in the promo code field, and you are going to get 10% off your subscription of the best non-woke magazine around right there, my friends. Absolutely. And just to show you that I am not asking you to do anything that I have not done myself, here, let's check this out right here. I've got, there you go. Check that out. There you go. Exhibit A, that I am not asking you to do anything that I haven't done myself. Getting yourself a subscription to Flip City magazine right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sheen. Look at that shine. It's so glossy and shiny and just like a freshly polished Mazda Miata. There you go. Exactly. There you go. The coolest car ever, the Mazda Miata. Yeah, I'm kidding. But you get some great full color artwork right there on the inside. So the back cover's got some great artwork as well. And just get articles there. You get some got some comics in here as well. Where's those comics at? They're in here somewhere. There we go. Probably just pass all over them. Got some other good artwork there as well. And let me do this here. We can find what I'm looking for there. Yeah, got some comics there as well. So all kinds of great stuff in each Flip City episode right there. Because I mean, we all have bad days, right? And we need some humor to perk us back up right there. So let Flip City do that for you. All right, there we go. All right, let's do this here. And basically, I'm got to let you know. So typically this Thursday, I would have a Movies America spoiler warning show. But as you can see back there, there we go. Get that thumb pointed the right direction. Back there, you see all the boxes. So I am packing up for a big move, and that is coming up here later this week. And so I will not be having a Movies America spoiler warning show this Thursday. I will not be having a show a week from today, okay, because I will be hip deep in the middle of the move there. And then I will not be having a show a week from this Thursday either right there. So it's a lot of got some move going on, but I'm gonna be back. I'll be back with shows here after I get somewhat settled, okay, which means when I get a cable plugged into the internet, get my internet all set up and get some kind of semblance of a desk set up and my monitors and all that stuff set up, my little mini Mac. Once I get all that set up there, then yes, I'll start episodes up here again. And it may look just as messy as it does back here, but it'll look that messy up in my new location, okay? And then I'll eventually get Movies America studio back up to full operational power eventually here, and we'll be back and back in kind of the norm of things right here. And yep, I'm bringing Tugboat with me, the first dog of Movies America. My remembrance picture of Tugboat. It will be coming up there with me as well. That's for sure. Okay, so every episode of Movies America Live on Sunday always involves a very, very important segment, and that is this movie a woke after-school special? To put it very basically, no. Nothing comes to mind that would make Thunderbolts woke, okay? So good for you, Marvel. You're learning. You're such a good Marvel. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Who wants to go for a ride in the car? Who wants to go for a ride in the car? You're a good Marvel. Come over here. Let me pitch you in the head, Marvel. Oh, such a good Marvel. Oh, yes. Let me rub your belly there, Marvel. Oh, yes, there you go. Oh, we're going to get some treats later on, Marvel. Oh, you're learning so well. There you go. You're learning not to be woke. And so, yes, this is not a woke after-school special whatsoever. So there you go. That's one feather in Thunderbolt cap right there. So that's all good. All right. And then now that we know that Thunderbolts is not a woke after school special, if you do appreciate me giving you a heads up about that and warning you if it's a woke after school special, so that if it is, you don't go out there and waste your money just to get sermonized from some woke, libtard via a movie, okay? If you appreciate that enough, you can throw a little money my way if you want, okay? So again, if you don't want to, totally cool. I'm not going to guilt trip you or anything like that. But the way you would do that and throw a little money my way via Rumble, if you're watching me on Rumble, is via what they call a Rumble rant, okay? And so how you throw a little money my way via a Rumble rant is very easy. So in Rumble, down by where you type in your live chat message there, just got to click on the button with a $ on it, and it'll just ask you how much you want to donate to me, and that is it. All right, very, very simple. All right, like me, very, very simple. And then if you're checking me out on YouTube, the Tube of Views, then yes, you can get in there and throw some money my way through YouTube as well. But YouTube, what they call it is they call it a super chat. Okay. And so in order to throw some money my way in YouTube via super chat, it works very similarly to the way it works in Rumble. Down by where you type in your live chat message, just click on the button with a $1 on it, and it'll just ask you how much you want to throw my way for money. And again, very easy, all right? Easy, easy, easy there, right? So easy like Sunday morning, as the Commodores once said way back in the day, all right? So, but enough begging for money from me as I keep trying to knock stuff down off the cabinet over here, so I got to stop doing it. All right, what should we do next here in Movies America Live here? So, well, I guess so. Yeah, my final thoughts on Thunderbolts is, like I said a couple times before, it's not entertaining enough for me to rightfully recommend going and spending your hard-earned cash at the theaters. Don't do it. And again, also, if you're looking for a movie where it involves kind of like some misfit characters that have to kind of come together, kind of have to combine forces together to do some good, you are going to be let me try that again. Much better served with the Suicide Squad, okay? And that movie came out a few years ago, directed by James Gunn there. So just check out the Suicide Squad. I'm sure it's on some streaming platform that you have already. It's a fantastic, fantastic movie. And so check that out instead of Thunderbolts there, okay? And then just wait for Thunderbolts to come out on streaming there. Of course, it's going to hit Disney Plus first there. So, but yeah, there we go. That has been one more episode of Movies America Live in the books there. And so we're going to see if we can wrap up this this episode of Movies America Live, because like I was talking about before, literally no buttons in Ramos Studio are working for me right now, okay? And in order to end the episode, I've got to click a button here. So this ought to be interesting. We're going to start clicking some buttons here. But before I start attempting to click buttons and just really embarrass myself there, like I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. All right, let's try this. Nope, that's not going to work. And that's not going to work. There you go. Nope, not at all. And now we are going to see if the end stream button works over here. So let's try this. Oh, well, of course that one. That's the one button that works. See y'all. All right.